right? I changed my background to pink and I threw a heart up there. So festive. Here's the deal. Give me your eyes. Look at me. The thing you just got back, the graph paper that should be on your desk, and the paper that you just got from up front, all of those things are going to end up stapled together at the end of this class. So do not put any of those away at any point. You're going to turn your mastery back into me with corrections that we're going to do together on graph paper. We're not writing on this test today. And then the new test you're going to do for homework. What's that? Oh, right here. Sorry, I was still responding to you. So check the second page. I just wrote you a message back. Hopefully it's close to right. I tried to look it up and translate it and write it the best I could. All right, so as you know, today is some sort of a special day. If you read my fine print up here, I have happy day that makes single people very aware that they are single and might in this one day save the flowers, cards, and candy businesses. Monday. So, before we dive into math, what did one cat say to the other cat on Valentine's Day?
Oh, I think I know what
You're perfect. What did the chef give to his wife on Valentine's Day? A hug and a quiche. I know. What did one owl say to the other owl on Valentine's Day?
Who are you?
I mean, if it was a blind date, maybe. I'll be yours. Who always has a date on Valentine's Day? All right, lunch. It is, it's everything that is normally the option. And the special option today is turkey corn dogs, mac and cheese. Which actually, a turkey corn dog sounds great. Because, turkey is one of the healthier meats. So, turkey corn dog, mac and cheese. Hands up for turkey corn dog, mac and cheese. Turkey corn dog, mac and cheese. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. Oh, no, I'm responding to Jordan. Get out of here. Mr. Beck, you're messing everything up. All right, 6 there. Spicy chicken patty. 1. Regular. Sorry, 1 for spicy. Regular chicken patty. 1, 2, 3. Cheese pizza. 1, 2, 3. Pepperoni pizza. 5. And sun butter and jelly. Sun butter, sun jelly. All right, sweet. All you need is love. Those are all math equations. Yeah, those are all math equations. Now, technically, the circle one, this would have to be scaled differently because this should be the radius of the circle squared. But, who's going to nitpick that except for nerds like me? All right, we're going to go question by question on your graph paper right now. Everybody, I don't care if you got almost every question right because nobody got every question right. Trust me, I graded these. Head your graph paper, chapter 5, mastery corrections. And put the date on it so you know that we did this today. Chapter 5, Mastery Corrections, and put your name on that graph paper, just in case papers get separated. You are not writing anything on the original test. You're not writing anything on the original test today, just on the graph paper. You clear? Because I'm not looking at your original test paper again. Are we all good? if you do what I do, your homework should be minimal tonight. If you sit there and don't write down what we write down, you'll have a bit more to do on your own. John? Yes, I was about to talk about that. If you got the question right the first time, it's up to you. So I have like a whole, what I call a heat map. So I have this that I go back and look at, and the highlighted stuff is questions that I need to go back and make sure that you corrected. So if you don't redo the ones you got right, it's okay, but I think we should all redo every one of these problems. Now, if you did not grab highlighters and you would like to really quickly, that's what might go on your original test is some highlighting, right? We might add some highlighting to the original test, but we're not writing any of the math on the original test. All right. Joe Burrow. He played his best. I don't know. He also probably got injured last night. He hurt. Looked like he was in a little bit of pain there. But if we talk about his season, and he has attempted 520 passes and completed 366 of them, percent, and guys, this might be what you also want to write down, percent is always part divided by whole. And then we'll do times 100 to get it into percent form. So what we did here, the part was how many passes had been caught. 366. Over how many passes he had attempted before the Super Bowl last night, which was 520. That comes out to be the decimal 0.704 something, something, something. It's real long. That's why we're going to round. When you do times 100, your decimal bumps over 2 places, and that is how we get 70.4%. Questions? If we are looking for a percent, we just do division. Some of us were trying to build a proportion, right? Like a fraction equal to a fraction, or like that's almost more complicated than you need to do it. We do this division and multiply by 100. Now you could, if you wanted to build a proportion, if you really wanted to, you could do this. Because this would now be my 100%, and I would be trying to solve what's on top. And I forget if it was in this class or the other class, but we could across here divide by 5.2. That would also work. Somebody did that, and it worked. They got the right answer. You can use a proportion. You just don't have to. Remaining questions on number 1. Because the paper you're doing for homework tonight is almost identical. I tell you about what Joe Burrow did in the Super Bowl last night. It's pretty much the same problem. Wink, hint, nudge. We all good? This makes sense now? If we missed it the first time, that's fine. We gotta know that we got it now. Right? We gotta be getting better. So if you're sitting here confused and you're not speaking up, you're hurting yourself. So in number 2, let's look at what we would have highlighted. This 68,000 pounds, that's what we call a distractor. We don't need that number. I'm actually going to cross it out. We don't need this. What we care about is the length. So if you fell in the trap door of using the weight, it was a trap door. I'm sorry. Life is dangerous. We are looking at the length. So I tell you, set up a proportion. I'm going to do this again, but this is my answer key, right? Like I have my answer key here because I'm recording this. You can go back and watch the video, but I'm going to do it again. If I tell you Babe Ruth's regular bat is 34 inches, and that is 2.4%, I'm going to set up inches and percent. What percent am I actually looking for? The 100%. Anyone confused about how I built this? I took the numbers the problem told me. The 34 inches is the 2.4%. Because remember that the big bat was bigger than the building. Right? Remember the picture I had on the board? Sorry if you went to Miss Martin's room, I should have sent her the picture too. This bat is larger than the building. It's like on the side of a museum. So then, if we don't know what to multiply by, divide backwards, and we got 41.6. Guys, it's only multiplication or division. Some of us are still falling in the trap of trying to add. We're not adding. That is not proportional. We only multiply or divide. So we do the same on top. And we get approximately, well, if you're trying to be really precise, it's about 1,416. But guys, I would have accepted anything between like 1410 and like 1420. Like some of us had some different answers, but then that's inches, right? So did any of you convert that to feet? It's a lot of feet. Yeah, what'd you get, Vincent?
I got 118 feet.
It is 118 feet tall. The baseball bat. That's why I told you the weight of it, because it's huge. I just thought it was interesting. It's huge and very heavy. Can you imagine picking that up and trying to swing it? It's 118 feet long. Questions on number 2. We're actually going to skip number 3 for now and probably do that one last. That one is totally my fault. Seriously, in writing, that one is on me. We all missed it. So, 3D, we need to come back to. Well, so flip to the back now. Let's go look at 4 first.
You have exactly what I had written down on the third one.
Did you get D?
Oh, well, no, I'm just saying, like, on D.
On the centers. Yeah, we'll come back to those, but yeah.
I did not get
Some of us got parts of it. A lot of us got A, B, and C. I didn't even number them A, B, and C. But a lot of us got the first 3. It was the last question that we all missed on the spinners. So it's okay. Guys, look at what just take a second to look at what I have up here. Like, I want to stop talking for a moment. Anybody like kind of confident and you want to volunteer to walk me through this? Because remember, if you didn't get this right or if you didn't get this done, you need to be copying some stuff down. I'll write everything again, but I've got the 4 important things there kind of right beside where I tell you. Lucas?
So this is kind of how I did it. So you know that F plus C plus N plus M. Those are all the initials.
Yeah, I forgot to write that step down over here. So Lucas is saying S plus T plus N plus M equals 47. We should have that written down because of this. The sum of the ages of the wolf pack is 43. Marley counts as the wolf pack, even though she doesn't look like a wolf. She's a shepherd, but she counts. She's in the wolf pack.
You wrote 47.
My bad. My brain has too many. It's these 7s are in my brain. The 7s that we're going to use next. Any questions on what I just wrote down in blue? I only put it in a box because I want to make sure you look at it right now. Any questions on the sum of all of the dog's ages, all 4 of them, equals 43? We're talking human years, not dog years. So yes, my dogs are getting old. I know. It's a thing we'll have to deal with. So then, go ahead.
Then you can kind of convert them to like the m, like on there on the side. You say s equals n plus 7. So you're going to put that into place of that.
So I'm going to write all of these down first, but you're right. Then I'm going to replace it. Any questions, and you should be writing this down, on why I wrote s equals m plus 7? Katie, you with me? Okay. S, Sebastian, is Marley plus 7. Marley's the youngest dog, but the biggest dog, actually. Timber is the same age as Sebastian. So you guys, look right here. Because even if you know how to start this, this is the thing that kind of made some of us hiccup. If Timber is the same age as Sebastian, I can just go ahead and say that is m plus 7. Timber is m plus 7, just like Sebastian was. Is. Questions on why I wrote Timber equals s, but then I went ahead and wrote m plus 7. Antonella? Not really, because I then need, I can't, when I come over here, I can't just replace t with s unless I then replace that s with m plus 7. So we might as well go ahead, we have to eventually just be talking in m's. Does that make sense? So, sure, we can write this for now, but then we want to change it to be m plus 7. We don't want to leave it as s, because I don't want to use s. But if it's for a moment, then yeah, you can have that for a moment. Nico! Well, twerp wakes me up every night. He's 5 years older than Marley. So Nico's m plus 5. Any questions on writing that down? And some of you, I think, thought I was, I don't know, doing something weird. Marley is the age that Marley is. M equals M. I just wanted to make sure that you didn't forget about Marley. She needs to be included. So now, and again, I didn't quite write this step over here, so I think I'm going to drag this down and do what, this is the step that some of us are goofing up, and it's on your handout, guys. The handout I gave you that is essentially this. That handout printed in color, we put it in a sleeve, it should be in your binder. We replace, we substitute is the math word. So Lucas said where we had s, instead of s, we're going to write m plus 7. You should be writing this down if you didn't get the right answer. On your graph paper, remember we're doing this on our graph paper. What is t? What did we say t is? Also m plus 7. Make sure you put addition between there. What was n? Yeah, m plus 5 or 5 plus m. And what was m? Just m. We leave m as m. Equals 43. Sorry, if you wrote this down and you wrote just equals 4, my bad, my 3 got left up here. Make sure you have equals 43. Questions on my substitution? Now, on your handout, what it would tell you to do next, and on my board, combine like terms. Let's grab all of our m's. 1, 2, 3, 4m. Plus, let's grab all of our constant numbers. 7, 7, and 5. 19 equals 43. What's the next step It's on my whiteboard. Step 4. Use inverse operations. So how do we get rid of that plus 19? Subtract it. From both sides. Now 4m is equal to 24. How do I get rid of that 4 that is multiplying? We divide. And Marley is 6. We then, and I'm going to scroll up because I have this process written out right here. So guys, here's the equation if you still need to see it. Then we plug that 6 in. Once we know that Marley is 6, we can figure out Sebastian and Timber are both 13. They're getting pretty old. And Nico is 11. Questions? Guys, the question on the follow-up is almost exactly like this, except instead of talking about my dogs, I talk about me, my brother, my sister, and my wife. For real. Real stuff. Just don't tell my sister I told you how old she is. Women are weird about their age. Although my brother, he should be weirder about his age. I'm the youngest. I'm the baby of the family, by the way. Who's the baby of the family? Like, you're the youngest, you only have older siblings? Yeah, I'm the baby. No other questions? It's alright, my older sister would help me style my hair before going to dances. So she was pretty cool. Alright, on number 5. I wanted to, for the recording, just show this here for a second. So if somebody came back and wanted to pause. But we're going to go through these a couple problems at a time. Okay, so I'm going to solve each of these. So don't worry if you didn't copy that down. We're going to solve both of these. Actually, I'm probably just going to shift this down so we can just work vertically. We'll do this. In A, what like terms are there that haven't been combined yet? Well, does X have a friend to hang out with? No, because X and X squared are different. So my negative 2X squared and positive 3X squared, those are the only things to combine. The X's don't go with it, they're different. Remember when we started talking about these, there are algebra tiles. Some are squares and some are rectangles. Right, we're used to the blue ones, but I've got those in here too. So, how many X squareds? 1. Negative 2, positive 3, 1 X squared. How many X's? Still 5 because it didn't do anything. How many constants? Negative 4 or minus 4. Questions on A. Most of us missed B and D. B and D were the harder ones. Oh, Miss Martin, if you're curious to look at the heat map, you're always more than welcome. Guys, this lets me know like what I didn't teach well enough and what to teach better. So like it's a concept. Did Mr. Estes talk to you guys about the feedback loop? Phoenix is one giant loop over and over and over again. We teach, we give you some work to do. You do the work, we see how well you did. We teach, we give you some work to do. We see how well you did. It's a constant loop. So B, I'm going to drag this up here to make our life a little easier. B was really tough because the first step should be this. Guys, check it. These are parentheses, right? Like grouping parentheses. Parentheses happen first. But here's what caught some of you. Inside of the parentheses, this is subtraction. This is multiplication. This is addition. So, which comes first? Multiply, add, or subtract? multiply. We gotta multiply first. Everything else just drops down. Don't do anything with it. So 4 times negative 3, negative 12. Plus 6 is still there. Plus negative 5 is still there. Questions? Inside the parentheses, I did the multiplication first. The follow-up should actually feel a scotch easier than the mastery. I kind of like pushed you guys real hard and then pulled it back a little bit. That's what coaches should do. That's how like the Olympians win, right? They train super duper hard, so when they get to the Olympics, they just do what they're used to doing. Anyone watch any of that stuff last night? Like the monobob? I so want to do a monobob. Monobob is you do the bobsled, but on your own, so it's just you. You're driving, you're braking, you're everything. Yeah, we took gold. I think we took gold and silver, didn't we? Yeah, women's monobob. All right, moving on. I'm still inside my parentheses. But now it's just subtraction and addition. I can do that stuff. Careful. 2 minus negative 12. What's minus negative? It's add, right? We add these. So what's 2 plus 12? 14. What's 14 plus 6? So in my parentheses, what we really have is 20. Antonella, you're making a face. Tell me more. I like that you're making a face because you're not hiding your confusion, but tell me more. Because 2 minus negative 12, we said minus a negative is actually addition. So we did 2 plus 12, and that's where we got the 14. Does that make sense? You want me to explain it again? Who else is confused? Be like Antonella and tell me about your confusion. Kylie. Because then I still had this plus 6. So this became 2 plus 12, because we said minus the negative. So 2 plus 12 was 14. Then plus 6 more got me to 20. Does that make sense? So I wrote it small right here. I probably shouldn't have done that. I wrote like an in-between step. I should have written it all out. Does that make sense now? Other questions? All right. Now, can I add? Or what else is there to do? We got to multiply, because this is multiplication. A number against the parentheses. What's 3 times 20? 60. The negative 6 comes down, and the negative 5 comes down. Guys, at this point, and if you look at my answer key, I grouped up my bad guys. I put negative 6 with negative 5, and we really have 11 negatives here. You don't have to do it in that order. If we work it just left to right, you could get 54 plus negative 5, which takes you to 49. I grouped up my bad guys. Right here, I really made this 60 plus negative 11. And that still will equal 49. So you can go both ways. Questions? That was probably the toughest of problem 5, or whatever problem we're looking at. I think it's 5. That was probably the toughest, guys. And I didn't even give you enough space. My bad. I realized when I was making my answer key, I'm like, man, that's not enough space to work it vertically. You can see on my key, I gotta go back. I had to like move my work over here, right? Like I ran out of space, so I had to shift my work. Did we get that copied down? Like we are good now, or are there any questions? I'm gonna do C and D. I'm going to do C and D. Vincent.
This is where I would have just grabbed my graph paper and copied down the work so I can just do it there.
Yeah, or you could like stick a Post-it right here if you wanted to. Like, guys, if you ever want to use Post-its in your test, you can. We just got to make sure they stay connected. C, most of us got C. If you didn't, you fell in the trap and you accidentally added first. We do not add before we multiply. Guys, when we're doing order of operations problems, some of you are doing this, most of you are not. Writing this out on your paper is a huge help. Parentheses, exponents, multiply, divide, then at the very bottom, add, subtract. Questions on C. I'm not going to redo C because it's there. That's really all the work there is. On D, like terms again, I would grab a highlighter. Does x squared, at the very beginning, have any friends to hang out with? Yeah. Way out at the other end. We had an x squared, 2x squared, together. They make 3x squared. Questions on getting 3x squared. My x's, I don't have very many x's. Relationship joke. Positive 3x, negative, guys, here's the trap door. Here's the trap door. This looks like a minus, and you can treat it like a minus. Or we call it negative. This is the one that really got us, though. That's negative 2x. You can call it minus, but I can't do 7 minus. I can't minus the 2x. It's really negative. So, really, I have positive 3x and negative 6x. If I put my negatives together, right? Negative 4x, negative 2x, negative 6x. What would that become? Negative 3x. And then we put our constants together. 7 and 4. Both of them are positive. Questions? Six and 7, most of us got. Here's the trap door on 6. Over here, the biggest thing people miss. Over here, this is 1. A lot of you just forgot to write it down. You just missed it. These edges of the x tiles are x long. The edges of the x squared tiles are also x long. And guys, I have x squared up there in the corner, up above Lucas. Lucas, give us a point to the top of the cabinet. Thank you, Kylie. That was a very good Vanna White hand. You like unfolded your hand up. And then over here, I've got an X on top of my whiteboard just because it's still sitting there. Like, guys, come up, ask me questions. I will point you towards things in my room. There's an X squared sitting there too. And I show the edges are X's. I know my room is starting to be filled up with like cardboard things that I'm making. So our perimeter, 6x plus 8. If we walk around and count everything. Our area, 2 of the x squareds, right? These guys together. 5 x's plus 3. Questions on 6? My timing just might work out for today. Romeo, hint, hint, Valentine's Day. Romeo's been flipping a coin. It came up tails 5 times in a row. Fun fact that I don't know if it means anything. Last night was the 8th time in a row that the team who won the coin flip lost the Super Bowl.
Wait,
Yeah.
That was so...
Who's to say if it actually relates, but the team who won the coin flip has lost the past 8 times now. All right, but regardless, every time I flip this coin, like guys, right now, if you walk in and I'm like, guys, this is a magic coin. I flipped tails 10 times in a row. What is my chance now? It's still a half. It's always a half. The previous flips don't matter. Yeah. Yeah, it's just luck. And honestly, that's not that crazy, because if every flip's a half chance, 5 tails in a row, like whatever, it happens. Let's talk about 3. Flip back to the front. These spinners are not split up equally. They're nice, they're not terrible, but they're not equal. Okay, so look up here real quick. Does this spinner, let's make sure we're understanding the question. Does this spinner impact this spinner? No, they're 2 separate things. Right? So we are independent. When I go to solve for how big the Milky Way is, I have 1/5, 1/5, 1/5. So what I found is I've already taken up 3/5. Right? My 1/5, 1/5, and 1/5. How many, of the circle is left over? Well, 2/5. Some of you went ahead and drew, kind of split it up, but you don't have to. We know it's 2/5. If you want to draw that the Milky Way would actually be 2 of those slices, you could. And then over here, if I have denominators of 5 and 10, what's a nice common denominator to use with 5 and 10? 10. So instead of saying 3/5, we should have written over here 6/10. So if I have 6/10 and 3/10, how many tenths did I already use? 9. So what do I have left? 1. Any questions on finding the 2/5 or the 1/10? Then we're going to do D together. This will make a lot more sense now, hopefully. You don't have to draw this on your paper, but I'm going to draw something that I hope really helps us. If you want to do what I'm doing, I'm drawing a 10 by 10 square on my paper real fast. This is my fault. But even though it's my fault, that doesn't mean we're going to stop doing it. It means I'm going to try to teach it to you again, and then we'll try it again. All right, let's make this make sense for a second. What is my chance of getting heads? 1/2. What's my chance of getting heads on the second flip? 1/2. What's my chance of getting heads followed by another heads? Would I do 1/2 plus 1/2? No, right? We don't add, because adding would make it easier. So if I think about this problem, I'm going to build a little model for us. My healthy bar, right, I'm going to use these spinners. Actually, I think I'm going to just snap a picture of this real quick and then do it on the smartboard. So you can draw a 10 by 10 if you want some extra help and some extra understanding. It would not hurt you. So hint, hint, you probably should do this, but I'm not going to tell you that you have to. Sorry, I meant to have this ready, but this is the one thing I forgot to prep. I think I'm just going to keep scrolling up and down. All right. The Milky Way bar I guess I'll go in order. If I try to take this circle graph and put it into a probability table, I would have my healthy bar, and it would take up 2 of the tenths, right? I'm going to draw that line all the way down. My Rice Pieces, sorry. My Vittles, and then my Milky Way gets 4 of the tenths. So if I break up my table, I can see the Milky Way space is bigger. Just like when I look at the spinner, the Milky Way space is bigger. If I do snack size is 6/10, so snack 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Regular was 3/10, and king size was just 1. So then if I cheat a little bit and use the fact that I have a smartboard to make some nice clean lines. What is our chance of getting Milky Way and king size? Guys, that is only this tiny part of the table. So, here's what you really need to write down. In a both situation, to get both of something, we multiply. So the work you should write down is we do 2/5 times 1/10. You take the 2 different probabilities and you multiply them. Just like when we did the tables and we had like blue, blue, green, green, red, red, or things like that. But now we're just not equal. We've got different probabilities, but we multiply them. That is all the time I got. I don't want this back yet. All 3 of these things need to live together. If you want to go ahead and staple them now, you could. That is up to you. This is due like Wednesday, right? Really, you should have it done tomorrow, but this is 2 nights homework. I'm going to change that board once you guys leave. This is 2 nights homework. It is due Wednesday. Okay? There's no new textbook homework. This is it. This is your homework tonight. All right. Thank you guys very much. Have a great day. Sorry you're like a minute over, but told ordering it was because I had to do lunch. We'll just blame it on that. If you didn't turn in closure, please turn in closure.